When you vote me in as the Navajo Nation president, every person in the Navajo Nation will have a home with electricity and running water within 2 years of my election. We will gain our full independence. You say it can't happen? Last week, the Cherokee Nation gained full independence in building roads and construction. Now they want more. This same independence will happen and more with my leadership. The U.S. government will grant us our complete independence. I have what they want and I know how to use it. The theft of our resources is going to stop with me. Here is where I will draw the line between the other 14 Navajo Nation candidates and myself, Frankie Davis. These 14 candidates are making endless proposals and promises. How can their campaign promises be funded if nearly all of the Navajo Nation's general budget is earmarked to support existing federal grant programs? We have no operating capital. Our GDP stinks. The flat-out difference between these 14 Navajo Nation presidential candidates and Frankie Davis, myself, the 14 candidates are exactly like all previous candidates for the past 99 years, relying on federal subsidy. They haven't done their economic homework. Nothing concrete, nothing promising. To my 14 Navajo Nation presidential candidates, I, Frankie Davis, did your homework for you to show you how unrealistic your promises and proposals are, as you are against using our own natural resources, having our control to excavate ourselves, our natural resources, with untapped revenue, 100% for our people, our prosperity. We have waited for 99 years for true independence. While you 14 candidates want wind turbine, here is the cost. On the utility scale, the wind turbine was $3 million and then if you add installation, it's another $4 million, now costing more due to the United States recession. Wind turbines under 100 kilowatts cost roughly $8,000 per kilowatt of capacity. A 10 kilowatt machine, size needed to power a large home, that installation cost us $80,000 and more. Again, there's inflation in the United States. That's probably doubled. Now let's look at your ideas about solar. Here is the cost. The average construction cost for all type of photovoltaic PV power plants was $9,324,095 for 386 total generators, or $6 billion and $9 billion for each 1,100 MW plant. Who has the money? Apparently you must come from wealthy families and you're going to take over the Navajo Nation, you 14 people. And you have extra capital because guess what? The Navajo Nation does not have capital. When the president, which is the executive, and the Navajo Nation, which is the legislative, when they are at odds and in opposition with each other, guess who suffers? We, the people. Now I'm going to read you my proposal, okay? The Navajo Nation Council has wasted so much time. I have a solution for this. The council is there to pass or reject a bill. Tabling is ridiculous and unprofessional. Progress can't happen if this keeps happening. This is my proposal. Number one, and I'll read them to you. All items on the agenda must be heard. That's number one. Number two, time limit on each agenda item must be implemented. Number three, I will read that to you. Tabling is to be banished. Number four, after each candidate has had an opportunity to speak, a vote must take place immediately. If rejected, it can be rewritten and renegotiated outside. This way, decisions are made and no excuses. I'm speaking to you, the Navajo Nation Council. You need to stop acting like little kids because of you, in part, nothing is happening. You are the lawmakers, and the people are suffering because of you. I'm going to be quoting someone that I read about in the Navajo Times, and this is what he said. Quote, "But it is when the people who benefit from the actions of its government in affording the rightful use of the resources belonging to them. In that instance, independence or sovereignty was used to change the lives of the Navajo people. My point is, our sovereignty, independence, needs to be exerted much more extensively, using it to rein in the monies flowing into our reservation and utilizing these amounts to change the lives of our Navajo people. The pure reality of this Navajo Nation relying on federal subsidy is the United States of America is $30+ trillion in debt. A huge possible long-term recession is already being felt at where? The gas stations, the grocery store shelves are becoming empty. We're having a hard time finding baby formula, and there's lack of medicines. Water shortages are around, and guess what? There are electrical blackouts, which is purposely caused by the White House. How will the Navajo Nation bleed? How will the 14 other candidates bleed the federal government for money? They don't care about us. They will care about other people before the native tribes. We have the best quality oil in the world. We have gas and natural resources, and it's only a matter of time that the United States, in their dire recession, are going to come and take our natural resources in the name of what? National security or etc. We need to be in control of our natural resources to sell our oil and natural sources to them, wherein it will be a win-win situation. We need to be prepared. All the more reason to becoming independent, a nation within a nation. You can make comments on this, but don't expect me to spill the beans on how everything will work. I'm not going to reveal how the things will be done to allow people to screw my plan up. The white men already steal our resources. I will not reveal the details because these white men will use it to destroy my plans because they do not want us to gain control over our resources. The environmentalists are already costing us over $50 billion because of their lies. These are also members of our Navajo Nation, paid by the white men who own oil and gas companies. Russia, the Clinton Foundation, as well as the really rich people in Santa Fe. For example, NNOGC is not allowed to extract helium. Yet, there are two other companies owned by white people. And guess what? They are extracting helium in and around and including hogback with no problems at all. More stolen natural resources by the white man, and the more reason to becoming independent. And so that we can control our own natural resources. Now I'm going to read you some headlines, and it is this weekend. Number one, talking about Biden, he's killing this economy. Americans are sounding off on inflation and their struggles after Biden claims his administration is changing lives. Another headline is Biden economic achievements fall flat despite White House initiatives. That's from the Virginia Residents. Number three, Biden lashes out at critics and deflects blame for soaring inflation on Twitter. I am a researcher. It is my business. My sources don't lie. I have done your homework, my people, and for you 14 candidates. Only God and I can resolve the filthy mire your past so-called leaders have led you into. It's time to implement my prosperous vision for each and every one of you in the Navajo Nation. Here is the hope, the dreams you all have prayed for, bled for, pleaded for, died for. It is time for prosperity by voting for Frankie Davis. I am here to serve you and God. I am but a servant to serve and fight for each of you. Now go and vote Frankie Davis. I am the only one who has done my homework. I am the only one that understands what true independence means, and that we can be in control of our resources towards true prosperity. We have waited for this for 99 years. It is 2022. It's time to vote Frankie Davis.